Good morning. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. I know.
I don't know what it is. What happened to your neck?
Oh, did you have to point it out? Really? I was trying to cover it up with my hair. I got a big old pimple on my neck. Like it's
on the neck?
Huge. It's weird. Yeah. Okay.
That is a weird one.
Don't talk about it. Maybe it'll go away.
The ones that
I wish it worked that way.
The ones that hurt are when they get in your nose
or your ear.
Oh, those hurt. Oh. Well, you look beautiful. You look a little Christmassy. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, my red pants. I was feeling very Valentine's-ish.
Oh, that's what it is.
I mean, it's coming up.
Yes, it is. It's coming up.
Just reminding you, Steve Treviño, Valentine's Day is like 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. Yes, Valentine's Day. We are going to do nothing again. Well, no.
The guest house is my Valentine's present.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured. The tile in the guest house is my Valentine's present.
But you look fantastic as
Thank
always.
you. It felt good to get dressed today. It was nice to have a lazy morning because of the cold weather here.
Yeah, we are frozen in here in Texas right now, and we are. The kids school was canceled yesterday. It was nice. We did nothing.
Well, yesterday the kids, Garrett didn't have school. It was like a teacher holiday anyway. And then the ice today. So it's been a long weekend. It is really nice.
Well, and not only that, last week Garrett was sick with strep and was not able to go to school. So that kid's literally had...
it will end up being like a week of no school for him.
A week of no school. And he was all excited. He's like, if school gets canceled tomorrow, I haven't been to school in forever. But we're still making him do, they have this thing called, what's it called?
He does Imagine Math, and it's like an app that the school uses. So
Yep.
there's educational games.
So I did read the comments, and yes, most people prefer just me and you, which is very flattering.
I know. Although, did you see the one comment? I don't read all the comments, but I feel like I always see the really good ones. And there was one that was like, this is the first time I found this, and I feel like I killed brain cells watching.
Oh yeah, somebody definitely was like, yeah. Well, which I don't.
Glad you found us.
Well, but I don't understand like the energy people have to shit on things.
To take the time to write a negative comment, even put that in the universe, just move on.
Because I think that because of the internet and these keyboard cowboys, as I call them,
yes,
people are very grandiose, and people think.
What do you mean they're grandiose?
Well, they think that they're so important. That their opinion is so relevant. Yeah, their opinion is so. Oh, I have to let people know that you're going to kill brain cells watching this. I better let people know. I better let all the smart people like me know. Yeah. Right. And to me, if I don't like something, I just move on.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to try something, not like it, and then go, yeah. Let me tell everybody why I don't like this.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure I don't remember who you were arguing with on the phone last week, but you're like, I'm going to write a Google review.
No, that's different. That is different.
Okay, explain.
Because I want to let people know, because of my awareness, I know what to do and what to expect. So that's different when you leave a review. When it's
customer service?
When it's customer service and you go, hey, I don't want other people that don't know to get taken advantage of.
Right.
Right? So my truck that I love ended up, I blew the transmission on it. And so that I don't have to take it all the way to Aztec Chevrolet, I took it to this place called Frank's Automotives here in New Braunfels. Yeah. And I used to get little things done there here and there. And the customer service has been good or whatever. But I took it in, and the guy calls me back, and he goes, well, here's the price. And I go, no. Because I had already priced it with Aztec.
Right.
Right? And I knew how much the transmission cost. And I go, wait a minute. I go, you're charging me $2,000 more than Aztec Chevrolet? I go, why? And he goes, well, the transmission is X dollars. And I go, no, the transmission is this much. So then he goes, well, how do you know that? First of all, he goes, how do you know that? And I go, I know that because I have friends at a dealership. I know how much that cost. I go, so why is my transmission $1,200 more than, he goes, well, I got to make a little money. I go, that's not a little money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you are somebody that...
And that wasn't like the labor and the time cost.
That was just
the markup on the actual part.
Just the markup on the transmission was $1,200. And I'm like, if I don't know any better...
If you're me, you pay it.
You just go, well, that's what it cost, right? But that's not... And by the way, if they want to make a few $100s, okay, right? You went to pick it up.
Industry standard.
You had an employee have to go pick it up, or it gets to whatever the case may be. You made the call. You went and got it for me. I get it.
Yeah.
But $1,200 extra.
Well, Steve Treviño let him have it.
I did, and
I'm writing a Google review.
I did. I wrote a review.
Did you really?
Yes.
Because usually you ask me to write it.
Well, no, but I don't want other people that don't know to have to pay.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Rick?
Yes, sir.
That they would charge $1,200 extra?
All the time. Like, I don't know anything about cars or anything. I mean, just across the board, I don't know anything. But we get taken advantage of so often, and then we go and read the reviews afterwards, and we're like, oh, we would have all reviews.
Yeah, had you read the reviews, you wouldn't have gone, right?
Okay, in all fairness now, if we're going to talk about Google reviews. So I had the same... I should have read the Google reviews. Like Rick said, I should have read the Google reviews. I was like ordering stuff for the guest house, and I was trying to not take forever to make a decision like you always accuse me of. And I was like, today I'm pulling the trigger. I'm ordering light fixtures, mirrors, bathroom fixtures, like everything. I'm knocking it out. Getting tracking numbers. We're good. I found these light sconces, beautiful to go on either side of the mirror. Ordered them, paid for, credit card charged, no sconces. Haven't heard anything.
What do the reviews say?
Well, so after the fact, when I was like, you know what? Like, then I went and I looked up the website, and their address says they're somewhere. And then I called the phone number on the website, and it's out of order, but they say they're in New York, but the address is Ohio. And then I'm like, all right, this is starting to get sketch. This doesn't seem right. Well, turns out the Google reviews say it's like sketch and that it took forever to get product and like they never received their item and blah, blah, blah. So now I got to go through disputing it with the credit card company.
No, but again, so Rick, that's why I did the review. And I just put, if you want to pay overprice on parts, then go to Frank's Automotives in New Braunfels, Texas on 46. But I don't want other people to get caught like that.
Yeah.
That's different than, just not liking something. And which, by the way, especially when it comes to movies, TV, podcasting, comedy, that's a subjective opinion.
Right. That's, yes, a matter of opinion, a matter of taste.
And I always look at it as, like my mom, for example, and I know she listens and watches. Miss Dora is like, oh my God, you got to see this movie. And I love this movie. And it's so funny and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, what movie is it? And she's like, oh, it's Medea freaking gets out of prison or whatever. And I just smile and I just go, oh, thanks, Mom. Yeah. And the reason I do that is because she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know I don't enjoy those movies. I don't think they're funny, but she does. And that's okay that she enjoys that.
Yeah.
And obviously, no
people buy tickets.
Yeah, nothing against Tyler Perry and the things that he does. There is obviously an audience for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that audience is dumb. They just have a different sense of humor. So I don't then go, oh my God, it's art. There are paintings that are worth millions of dollars. Uh-huh. And I look at them and go, what the fuck? I don't know why it's worth $1 million, but it's worth $1 million because somebody is willing
to pay that.
Pay that. And they like it. And that's their opinion.
Yeah.
Right? It's like houses for us. We are the houses that we like are Spanish style.
Yeah.
And I like farmhouse.
I do not.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like modern.
I kind of do sometimes.
Right. So, but it's all subjective because it is, architecture is also art.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit there and shit on every house that's modern.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just move on. Rick does TV. And I'm sure that there's a reason that Rick gets hired to do these TV shows because people are watching them.
Yeah.
They might not be for everybody, but somebody's watching them. So it always cracks me up when they go, oh, I didn't enjoy it. My brain cells got killed. I'm now going to tell everybody else that they're idiots because they listen to Stephen Captain Evil.
Yeah.
So I just think I think there's a difference between, hey, let me do a review, a real review.
Right.
So that other people, when it comes to a business,
Yeah.
so that other people don't get.
Or it's
burned.
always like, they talk about the theater critic or the film critic is often like the theater student that never made it, didn't get a career on Broadway. So now they shit on the Broadway plays, kind of the same idea.
But 1,000%. And that's what's so frustrating about the business that I'm in.
Yeah.
Right? The business that I'm in, there's people that have never told a joke.
Yeah.
There's people who have never been on stage to do stand-up telling me what's funny, right? There's people that are the head of comedy places and they go, yeah, we don't want Steve Treviño's special. I don't think it's funny. Well, you've never been on stage. You have zero talent. And now somehow you're in charge of deciding who's funny and who's not funny. That's insane to me. And as Rick will tell you, when you work on a TV show, oh my gosh, you have all these executives telling you what's good and what's not good. And they
haven't ever actually creatively produced something.
Anything.
Like gone through the motions of making it.
So that's kind of the same thing with these reviewers, right? Like, okay, well.
The entertainment writers.
Are the entertainment writers. But the fact that I don't have the time nor the energy to sit there and go, I didn't like, I'm just using an example, right? I didn't like Peaky Blinders. So now I'm also going to write a review to tell people I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No.
Did you say that out loud?
I was going to say, I love Peaky Blinders.
I love Peaky Blinders too, but I was just trying
Watch
to think
Peaky
of...
Blinders.
I was trying to think of an example, right? Like, the Jonah Hill movie that's out right now, I've been wanting to watch it because...
We started it, right?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of
It just
the
came
one
out.
we started. Okay.
It's with Eddie Murphy. And I fucking love Eddie Murphy. He's a hero to me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a shot because of Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Right? But lately I've been seeing all these TikTok reviews and all these people reviewing it. And it's so interesting because half the people are like, oh my God, this is mind numbing. I gave it 15 minutes. It sucks. I can't watch it, blah, 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 blah. And then, there's other people that are like, oh my God, I loved every second of it. It was so funny. Jonah Hill and this girl have great chemistry. But so you never know.
Yeah.
That's why you learn to see the comments and shake them off, right?
Yeah.
You learn to go, all right, whatever. I mean, it's like my stand-up Relatable. When it came out on Netflix, at that time on Netflix, you could write a review and then you could star it. Well, I only had 3 reviews and all of them just shit on me. And it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like truly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh my God, like my career's over. That's it. But I don't know. And I was just telling, I forget who I was talking to. Dave J, for example. I think I was talking to Dave J about, in the beginning when you start off as a stand-up, you're so concerned if other comedians are going to think you're good.
Yeah.
Like you're so concerned, right?
You were?
Oh yeah. When I first started, all I wanted was comedians to accept me as a comedian and to like what I do.
Yeah.
Right? And the opinions of other comedians held so much weight to me.
That seems very unlike you.
I was young, and you're scared, and this business is intimidating and hard, and then you get to the Comedy Store, and there's all these guys that have been established who have been there forever, and it just feels...
that is such a fraternity.
And you feel really left out, and they don't want to talk to you, and they don't, and they're so judgy, and you're like, oh my God, are they going to like me? And
they make mean jokes.
Yeah. But I remember one of the times at the Comedy Store, and God rest his soul, Stephen Brody Stevens, who is a comics comic, very early on at the Comedy Store, he ended up in a complete argument with other comedians, And I remember him saying, I don't care what the fuck you think.
What was the argument over? Do you remember?
The argument was this exactly. It was, I don't play to the, Steven says, I play for the audience. I don't play for you fucks in the back.
Yeah.
I could care. You guys don't buy tickets.
Yeah.
The people in the audience are who I am trying to make laugh. I could care less if you laugh. I could care less if you like me. I am here to make the audience laugh because they're the ones that buy tickets. They're the ones that bought tickets. They're the ones that are here to have a good time, not you. And it was a huge argument. And then the other comics were like, oh, you don't want to be hacky and you don't want to be this. And Brody Stevens goes, if it's my thought, my idea, my joke, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to make the audience laugh. And I remember that being kind of a moment for me where I was like, you know what? I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I also feel that way. And I also think that it's the audience that is most important.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's, and by the way.
I was going to say, it's like who you've become, like the tour, America's Favorite Husband. That's who you have become.
But it's there are comics at the Comedy Store that only comics thought were great. And the sad part is,
I remember being there late at night sometimes at the end of the night when all the audience was gone. And I would be like, I don't get it. Like, why are all these comics in the back standing and watching and think this is funny? I'm like, what?
I mean, it's
this?
funny because it's so dark and so off the wall and so fucking crazy. So dark and so crazy.
But the guys in the back would get off on the fact that the comic on stage made the audience feel uncomfortable.
Right. All the time.
And I'd be like, why am I here?
Right. So, I got to the point where I was explaining to Dave J that hopefully he can learn that lesson before I did.
Yeah.
And to learn the lesson that who cares what comics think? Is the audience laughing? Are you having a good time? And then comics get in their head about, well, I don't want to do,
But it's hard at that level too, because the comics are often the gatekeepers.
Yes.
You do almost have to gain or earn their approval because they're the promoters for Tuesday night at this place or Wednesday night at this other spot.
And you know how I got their approval? Because I would kill.
Yeah.
Right? If you get to the point where you are literally making the audience laugh their heads off, they're going to start respecting you.
Yeah.
Because they go, well, fuck, that guy kills.
That got a reaction.
But then it's so funny too, because then all of a sudden these comics go, oh, dude, you do too many act outs. Well, can you do it?
Right. You get accused of the easy laugh.
Right. Oh, you're doing act outs. Well, you're going to tell Jim Carrey, one of the funniest people on planet Earth, not to be exaggerated,
right?
Not to be, the act outs.
That is his talent. Yeah.
My God, dude, Jim Carrey used to do this joke where he goes, now let me go way back. And he would literally slam his head on the ground. He would be standing on stage and then he goes, you know what, let me go way back. And then he would throw his body all the way to the stage physically. And the audience would fucking die laughing.
Yeah.
You're going to tell Jim Carrey not to do that? He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I just, you get, you start worrying about, and that's life too, right? Like once you get to a certain age and you go, I don't give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
I don't care what my neighbors think. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to do me. And that's such a great place to be in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great place to be in life. Anyway.
In any career, not just comedy, like in anything.
That's what I mean in life.
Yeah.
Life in general, when you start going, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you think. I don't care, but I was also taught that, very, very young. My dad would.
That sounds very much like your father.
No, my dad would always say that. Like, hey, I don't care that, and I would have a drink with my dad in high school and my dad would be like, I don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're talking about you, not realizing that their kid is doing hard drugs.
Yeah.
Hiding from their parents, So it's the comedy world is it's frustrating. And even now, like I don't think I'm in that group.
Yeah.
But I think they respect me as a comic and what I've done,
Yeah.
And it does make me feel good when, like Dave J, for example, he's like, dude, people are like, oh my God, you're on the road with Steve Treviño. You know, that makes me feel good that other comics.
Because it's boot camp, because it's comedy boot camp.
It is comedy boot camp. And my goal, other people, other headliners, theater acts, arena acts, they have long time opening acts.
Yeah.
Right? That have been opening up for them for 5-10 years.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want Dave J to go on and become a star himself.
Yeah.
So my goal with Dave is like you said, comedy boot camp, where I'm constantly trying to help him get better.
Yeah.
And a lot of headliners, they go, well, I'm comfortable. My opening act's my opening act. I'm friends with my opening act. We have a routine, and they will always be my opening act. And the sad part is that those guys, I call it the stripper syndrome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
You're making money. You're happy. You're content.
Well, you're making money. You're starting to live a more expensive lifestyle, and now you can never quit stripping. Because another job, you cannot afford to live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? So these opening acts, they get comfortable making that opening money.
Yeah.
They start living that lifestyle, and they're not willing to go back and be poor again. And you have to be poor for a long time.
As a beginning headliner.
Steve Martin said it. Steve Martin's got a great book that those of you that love stand-up and love Steve Martin, he's got a book called Born Standing Up.
Steve Martin's written a couple of books, hasn't he?
I don't know. I know Born Standing. Rick, you got to read it, and it's so great. But one of the things he said, I don't want to open for 1,000 people. I'd rather headline for 10.
Yeah. Well, the exercise of being on stage for 45 minutes versus 15 is like insane.
Insane. And then in front of 10 people, you're getting better, you're getting stronger. But he goes, at the end of the day, the headliner is the one that gets the credit. It doesn't matter how funny I am.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my philosophy on the road. Dave J's hilarious. And I love that he's funny. And I love that people think he's funny. And I love that people go, reach back out and go, who's your opening act? What's his name? He was great.
They got a solid show as an audience member.
I love it. I love that he's hilarious and that I have to go up there and follow him. But at the end of the day, who gets the credit? Me.
Yeah.
No matter how funny.
I saw Steve Treviño. It was a great night. The ticket was worth the cost of admission.
Yep.
Have you ever been bumped?
Have I ever been bumped?
Not in a long time, but all the time before.
Oh my God, I've been bumped a million times from Dave Chappelle to.
Oh, and times when you really needed the work, like we needed the money in the paycheck, and they'd be like, "Sorry, someone asked for this week, and guess what? We're gonna give it to them."
Oh no, but bumped. Yeah, yes, we're gonna get to that too. Bumped at the Comedy Store or the Improv or the Laugh Factory, where I was next to go up, and then all of a sudden Chris Rock walks in the door and goes straight to the DJ booth and wants to go up right now, and I'm like, fuck. And the saddest part, I can't tell you how many times that I was bumped and somebody really important that I wanted to see me perform was in the audience.
That's exactly where my brain went when you started telling that story. Is I remember so many times you were like, oh, such and such, there's going to be this showcase or there's going to be these people at the Comedy Store. I'm going to go get up. And then you'll text me and you'll be, I'd be at home and you would text me and you'd be like, fuck, I'm second from the end on the lineup. Or I was in the middle of the lineup and then these 3 dudes complained and said they weren't going after me. They couldn't follow me. And so now they're going in front of me and I've been bumped to the end of the show. Oftentimes it's so late at night that special guest is left because they're working the next day. Like,
and by the way, anybody that ever did see me that could help me would help me.
Yeah.
I ended up in a deal with David Arquette and Courtney Cox because David Arquette saw me and was like, oh my God, you're hilarious. We got to do something together. We almost ended up with a TV show on TBS with David Arquette and Courtney Cox. But yeah, man, I'd get bumped all the time. And then there was, when Renae and I were dating and not married and trying to pay the bills, Jimmy Fallon was about to get the Tonight Show. So he wanted to go back on the road to do stand-up to practice his stand-up skills. He literally took every week I had. My entire schedule got bumped for Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, because what club says no to Jimmy Fallon? Like,
And then I'm the low man on the totem pole.
Yeah.
So they end up bumping me and moving me around, and I barely had any work. And you know, I forget, at one point we were trying to work to get onto the Fallon show, and I'm like, I can't wait to tell that motherfucker that I almost didn't have a career.
yeah.
He almost literally buried me that year because he took all the work that I had.
Yeah.
But I did survive and I did make it. And Jimmy Fallon wasn't doing it.
He had no clue.
Maliciously,
No,
right?
he had no clue. He had no idea.
He
Like,
just called his agent and said, look,
Yeah.
I want this many weeks.
Give me dates, and
Yeah.
his agent calls the club, and the Improv's like, "Oh yeah, we got weeks. Here you go." And what's
Just-
the easiest thing to do? Swipe out all of Steve Trevino's dates, plug in Jimmy Fallon's.
Yeah, we'll take Jimmy Fallon over Steve Trevino any day. Who cares?
It was not intentional.
So, I mean, to answer your question, Rick, I mean, gosh, a million times. And again, there were times when, oh my God, I needed the work.
Yeah.
And so-and-so is working on a new special and they want to get in the clubs, boom, wipe out Steve Trevino's dates.
Yeah.
And one of the most classy times that I got bumped was Hannibal Buress, who Hannibal and I had done New Faces together in Montreal. So he is my peer, but he was already blown up and I was just the guy. Well, he happened to be in the Bay Area. I happened to be in San Jose that weekend. Hannibal actually called me.
Yeah.
Hannibal called me and said, hey, man, I know they want to bump you. Why don't we just work together? You stay on the show. I'll make sure you get paid the same and we can work together. And I go, man, that would be... And I've never had an ego about opening or closing or hosting or I've never
Or
cared.
sharing the stage
I
in
don't
any
care.
way. Yeah, yeah.
I'll share the stage with anybody and everybody. I will
Yeah.
follow anybody. I will open for anybody. I've never cared.
Yeah.
And even now I don't care.
Yeah.
People walk in my green room. I'm like, you want to go up? Go up. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was doing the
Rick, you want to go up? Steve will let you up.
I was doing the Dirty at 12:30 in Vegas, and Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz walked in, and Joe Rogan was like, "Hey man, do you mind if I go up?" And I go, "I don't care, but you're going last.
Yeah.
How about you close it out?" I was supposed to close it out for an hour. I'll do 25 minutes. You can have the rest. And Joe was like, "Okay, great." But I wasn't like mad at Joe. I wasn't like, "Oh crap, Joe Rogan came in and bumped me." I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I still did my time. I sat back and I enjoyed watching.
I remember watching that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe and Joey Diaz did an amazing show, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And it is sad that, I have also, not only that, Rick, I have been booked on shows, big shows, with other comedians, and those other comedians have gone to the promoter and said, well, I don't want to work with Steve Treviño.
Yeah.
And they have completely kicked me off the lineup.
It's been a long time since that's happened.
Been a long time, but it's still, it hurts my feelings because I would never
Take work away from
I would
someone like
never
that.
take
Yeah.
work away from somebody.
Yeah.
If I end up on a show with somebody that I don't like, I'm not going to push my weight around to get that person off my show.
Yeah.
I would never do
That's
that.
a lot of energy for not a good reason. You can even completely avoid someone, I don't know.
I'm always up to getting on stage with anybody and everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I have no fear in my skill. I'm not insecure about my skills. I know that I'm funny. I know I do a good job. And if I open or close or whatever, I know that I'm going to do a good job. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But again, comics are so insecure and so afraid. I mean, I did a show. I was headlining a show in Melrose, and Kevin Hart wanted to come and work out. So they come up to me and they go, hey, this was Friday night, first show. We had 2 shows a night. I was headlining. Kevin Hart comes in, and then Kevin goes, I'm going to close the show. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're fucking Kevin Hart. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I go up, I annihilate the room. Kevin goes up. In between shows, Kevin comes up to me and goes, fuck you, you're going last. He's like, I'm working on new material. You're going in there like a fucking monster, trying to destroy, and I'm not fucking following you.
Yeah.
So I go, that's fine, whatever.
Well, and I get that. Like, that's hard when you're working on new material. You want to be able to work on new stuff and not feel self-conscious or that be in the back of your mind.
Well, but at that time too in my career, I was no Kevin Hart. I still am no Kevin Hart. I mean, we're the same height, but I'm no Kevin Hart. So at that time, I was like, hey, dude, I got lots to prove.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I'm over here trying to earn a career.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go up there and fuck around. I'm not going to go up there and work on new material. I'm here to kill.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the Melrose Improv. People are here to watch.
Right. They've let you perform on a weekend and it's not Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm going to kill. But even Kevin Hart was like, fuck you, dude. I ain't following you.
Yeah.
You do you in front of me, or you do you after me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine too. I don't care. And then my people would be so scared at like the Comedy Store. Chappelle would go up. This is when he was making his return. Chappelle would go up for an hour. And all the comics were like, I ain't going up. I ain't following that. And I'd be like, I will.
Got a captive audience.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you always have to acknowledge what just happened. I would spend 2 or 3 minutes going, all right, well, I guess I'm following Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I'm not Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry. A legend just fucking came and did a show for you guys. And now you got me. So can we reset? I kind of take a moment and then I earn them back and here we go. But I didn't care if it was Chris Rock or Robin Williams or Joe Rogan or Kevin Nealon or whoever the fuck.
Yeah.
I would follow him.
Yeah.
Dice Clay would bump us all the time and murder. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how talented Dice Clay is.
Yeah.
God, the guy's talented. From voices to characters to stand-up. I mean, the guy is a very talented guy, and everybody thinks of him as this filthy, the dice man, but they don't realize how good of a stand-up he is.
Yeah.
Same with Pauly. Pauly Shore gets this rap of like...
You think it's because they play sort of a caricature of themselves that they don't get...
Yeah, and Pauly's such a silly dude and has always been the weasel and bro and he always played the dumb guy in his movies. I don't think people give him credit, and he's an amazing stand-up.
Yeah.
Amazing stand-up, crazy hard worker. He's a pain in the ass, but I love Pauly. And I love watching Pauly and Pauly talking about Pauly Shore in his 40s, and he does this whole bit about it, and it's like, wow, man, what a great bit, So I don't know how we ended up here, but
Google reviews.
Yeah, it all started with Google reviews, but we do have to give it up for Aztec Chevrolet, who's taking care of my transmission and charging me fair.
Steve will write you a good Google review.
Yes, and they are charging me fair with good customer service. Also, our friends at Old Salt Coffee, got to thank them, and they are now going to be sponsors at Helicopters for Heroes.
Oh, that's awesome. Everyone's going to be drinking Old Salt Coffee. I love it.
Yep.
And their mugs. Maybe we can get some mugs for the, because they're so good. I love these. Maybe we can get some of these for the vets. These are good mugs. Yes.
I know Rick's going to be at Helicopters for Heroes. I understand.
Yeah.
Hanging out. We're also doing something really special with A&E. Me and Bill Goldberg are going to be shooting a show.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's called, it's an intervention show. Not an intervention show. It's about...
Addiction Unplugged.
It's called Addiction Unplugged, and it is about people who have fully recovered from addiction. So, Rick, I need to talk to you about that too, because...
Shooting with my old college roommate and old business.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were on a Zoom with him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wait, I know this guy. I've met him before. It took me a second to put the dots together that we met him through you.
Yep. And so we're very excited to be doing that at Helicopters for Heroes. And then, of course, picked Cherries. Please download the app. We finally got the patent, which is huge for us.
But now, if you guys haven't gone to Pick Cherries, you can go to Pick Cherries and you can listen to clips. There's like so many clips now of Steve and Captain Evil, the podcast, on there.
You want to kill your brain cells?
Yeah, go do it.
We're happy to kill them for you.
In 1 minute clips at a time.
Yeah, who needs crack?
And
Use
then
us.
share it with your friends.
How was your weekend? You got to see Daddy Raymond.
It was good. My dad, because he's traveling to Houston, like MD Anderson and back, they just don't have the energy to travel more and come here like they used to. You know, I used to make jokes about them being here every other weekend, and they just haven't been able to do that. So I went to Rockport, and they came and stayed with the kids and I there, and Dad and Garrett fished, and we rode the golf cart, and it's just a nice, slower change of pace. I think now while he's doing this, we're gonna have to go back to them.
You came home exhausted.
You know what? It's not. I wasn't like. Well, the kids and I all sleep in the same bed, and Delilah's like this, so I don't sleep well. She ended up with a UTI, so I had to take her to minor emergency. Poor thing is like screaming and shaking every time she had to pee.
But Delilah's one of those kids that like.
She's emotionally draining. I'm not like tired. I am like, I have no more patience.
She's either the best 2-year-old you've ever seen in your life,
and so articulate and so happy. Like when my brother
and talking and tells you what she wants, and she's just amazing. But then it's the other extreme where
flips.
Oh my God, where you're like, this girl is
like terrible toddler 2 tantrums
loses
like
her
you have never
shit.
seen. And it's not that she like throws herself on the floor. She just, well, actually, I take that back. She doesn't throw herself on the floor. She pulls my hair, like legit
Physical.
yanks
She gets physical.
my bun, or will like slap you across the face.
Dude, and one of the biggest challenges of being a parent is not laughing.
Oh no, when she pulls my hair or she slaps my face, there is no laughing over here.
But like, I will discipline her because we don't spank our kids. I will discipline her. I will put her. And by the way, I'm not judging anybody else.
We don't spank our kids because with Garrett, we didn't have to.
Delilah, we don't have. I'm not going to spank Delilah, but we discipline them. I put her on her bed and I go, "You're not leaving your bed." And then it's the funniest thing because she will grab everything on that bed,
The pillow. Yeah. She
and
throws
throw
things.
it off.
Yeah.
And you're trying not to laugh because it's really cute, but because you have to get mad at her and you have to let her know that that's not okay.
I don't think it's funny. I am like, so I just, that's what it was. I came home and I was mentally exhausted because I was like, I can be patient. The UTI, she can't help it. She's sick. I feel bad for her. Like it was just all the screaming of that. And then when she acts like a little turd, then I'm like, But
I also think that the female energy doesn't help you. It's the female on. I have noticed that with Garrett, I don't have as much patience as you do, but I have more patience with Delilah.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I think
that's probably accurate.
You have more patience with Garrett, but you don't have more patience with Delilah. And Delilah, gosh, so yesterday she has a UTI, so we have to give her medicine, and she's like, "It's yucky. I'm not taking it." And I'm like, "You have to take it." So I go, if you don't want to take it, you can't do anything else.
She's like, my vagina's fine. My vagina doesn't hurt.
I put her on the bed. I said, you are not leaving this bed until you take your medicine. And when I tell you that she screamed and fought and yelled for an hour and a half.
Till she passed
passed
herself out to sleep.
Even when she was passed out, she was like, I don't want it, it's yucky. Like she was falling asleep. But it was a hard battle. I had to stay patient.
I was like, I came out, I told Lori was here working yesterday. I said, I don't know if that was the hat to hang your horse on or whatever the saying is. I was like, I don't know if her taking yucky medicine is like the battle to have. Like maybe we set our foot down with something that's really about her behavior.
But she wakes up from her nap and I look at her and I go, I know you don't want to take your medicine, but you're not leaving this bed until you take it. And she goes, okay, I'll take it. So she took it. We win. Later that night, it's time to
We went to Peter Piper.
Went to Peter Piper because we had a freeze day in. And then later that evening, it was time to take it again. And I looked at her and I go, take it or we're going to the bed for discipline. It's just okay. And she took it. So it was like, sometimes you got to fight these battles, and it sucks. And there's an hour and a half where I'm just sitting on a chair, watching this little girl lose her shit.
Yeah.
But at the end, we did it.
Yeah, but I keep telling myself, okay, this is the girl that screamed for 3 6-week sessions of swim survival classes. Most kids, by the time they're 3 weeks in, by the end of the first 6-week session for sure, they are over it. No, Delilah was 3 6-week sessions.
Delilah has issues with hearing the word no, and I don't know where she got that from.
I just think she is very strong-willed. And even Sherry Spar, the swim teacher, said that will serve her well somewhere in her life. Like, you don't want to crush that spirit. That is going to serve her well.
1,000%.
It's just going to be really fucking hard to parent.
She's a very strong little girl. And she will tell you what she wants, and she will make it clear what she doesn't want.
Yeah.
And that I admire about her, is that she does not...
And if she doesn't want to hug you, she isn't going to.
Yep. I know somebody like that. But my weekend, I did Arkansas for the first time.
Yeah.
First show in 4 years that didn't completely sell out.
Yeah.
But it was a great show, great theater, real mellow in the green room because I don't know anybody in Arkansas.
Yeah. Had you ever been to Arkansas before?
Long time ago, there was a comedy club in Little Rock that the owner of the Addison Improv owned.
Uh-huh.
And they went and opened it, and they needed me to go out there and be the host for a show.
Uh-huh.
So I had driven to Little Rock 20 years ago or whatever it was.
Does that club still exist?
I don't think so. We were in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and then that night there's a casino in Oklahoma. It's right on the border. So I went to the casino.
Yeah.
Woke up and then drove to Tulsa. And I gotta say, man, Tulsa.
That show was in a casino.
Yeah, so it was the same casino that me and you, Brent and Danielle went to go visit, and you guys did the scavenger hunt. Remember, you and Brent were like, y'all are boring. Y'all are gambling. We'll go do a scavenger hunt. And then you guys did a fake scavenger hunt. You remember that?
No.
Yes.
What was the scavenger hunt? What was I hunting?
Y'all were making it up. You guys were like, sir.
Clearly this was before I had children.
You were like, sir, we need to do we need a picture of a mullet. We're doing a scavenger hunt.
Yes, now I remember. We were going around taking pictures. Yes.
Of the, but
That's
that
hilarious.
casino is called River Spirit. And I got to say, that is one of the first casinos outside of Vegas that felt super nice.
Yeah.
It had a Jimmy Buffett theme, Margaritaville.
Yeah.
The theater was freaking amazing. We sold it out, 2,700 seats. And then the funny part is, so we're sitting down at the little bubble craps machine, just hanging out, talking. And then the theater's right there. All these people at 4 o'clock with lawn chairs lined up to wait to get into my show. It was crazy.
So where do they put their lawn chairs during the show?
I don't
Do you
know.
like coat check your lawn chair?
I mean, they had books. Like, people were sitting there reading books. Like they were like tailgating.
Does security say like that's normal for a show? That's what people do?
Well, he said that if it's an act that people really want to see, then yes.
But isn't it a theater with assigned seating?
Yes, but you have to wait in line to get your tickets. So people start lining up early to get their tickets. It's a big theater. I mean, it's 2,700 seats.
Yeah, well, yeah. So to have those people lined up.
The green room was amazing. And I just, man, I get so humbled, I guess the word is. But you walk through the hallway and there's autographed guitars by George Strait and Twisted Sister. And there's pictures of, guys like Joe Coy. And I mean, all these big names. And I'm walking through the hallway and they're like, Steve, we're going to put your picture right here. And I'm like, why?
That's cool. That's cool.
And it's just, it is, it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, wow, like really?
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like, that's how I feel. I feel like, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to put my picture up with all these freaking awesome people? Like,
that's cool.
So, it was really cool. I had to sign all this stuff.
Yeah.
The green room was great. Brent and Daniela came, and again, friend from high school.
Yeah.
Super classy guys. And, we ended up getting to hang out all day and just, reconnecting with those guys. And I'm really proud of them. They've already started the process. She is a veterinarian surgeon. So she has been working at OSU in Stillwater. Now they're opening up their own practice.
Wow.
And Brett's like, man, I want her to make lots of money. I'll be the maintenance man. It'll be perfect. I'll show up, make sure the light bulbs are working, you know. So it was really great to hang out with them. And we also had some friends of ours, because we're thinking about, and I don't know if we're there yet, but about doing my own whiskey. So we had our friends from Copper Sky Whiskey, which, by the way, give those guys a chance. They'll deliver it to you.
The bottle's
very good.
beautiful, too.
The bottle's beautiful.
Yeah,
so
the logo's beautiful. The bottle's beautiful.
It was a great weekend, and I'm really debating whether I should talk about it or not, but I think I am, and I hope people don't think that I'm talking about it to be braggadocious. But Dave J comes up to me and he says, hey, after the meet and greet, there's a woman here who's very, very emotional, and she wants to meet you. I said, yeah, of course. Well, this woman is probably in her late 60s. She was shaking because she has Parkinson's. And she comes and starts telling me her story. And her neighbor's tree fell on her roof. And the city is fining her every single day that she doesn't move the tree. The college is trying to buy her home. And she's just with Parkinson's. She's like, my Parkinson's medicine is this much, and never asked for money. She was just telling me the story, and she said, I'm also a veteran, she showed, I go, you don't have to show me your ID. Like, well, I had earlier that day, Daniela and I picked out a slot machine to kill time. I put 100 in it and I hit 500. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to take this 500 so that later tonight I can play craps.
Yeah.
Well, I had the voucher in my pocket. And I said, you know what? I said, I want you to have this. And I gave her the voucher and she just started bawling. And then I started crying. And then Mike, who owns Copper Sky, he then reached into his pocket and gave her every dollar he had in his pocket that he had planned to play craps with.
Yeah.
And gave it to her. And she goes, she was a friend of mine, had an extra ticket and said, hey, you need a laugh.
Yeah.
And this guy's really funny. She said, I had been praying for help. She says, I had been praying to God for help. This ticket came to me for free. I came to the show. She said, afterwards, you said that you can come to me if you need help, if you're a veteran.
Yeah.
She goes, so I just wanted to tell you my story. And God, I'm crying. Mike's crying. The security guard's crying. She's crying. And we gave her the money and she said, this might be enough to get the tree removed from my house. Thank you. And when stuff like that happens and you sit there and you go, man, I'm so blessed, know, and so lucky to do what I do for a living. And if I don't have that money for craps tonight, that's okay. Yeah. We just hopefully made this woman's life a little better.
Just to give someone hope and feel like literally, here this poor woman has a literal tree falling over, but to feel the weight of that, to be able to offer her a little relief.
And the sincerity that she had. Yeah. And she just wanted to tell us her story. Yeah. And she lost her husband and you go, man, this is a woman that could end up homeless. She goes, the college keeps offering me money, but she was, it's my grandma's house. My grandma gave it to me. She goes, I grew up in that house. Yeah. She goes, so I was going to sell it and they had given me an offer, but then the tree fell on it and that offer has now dropped considerably. She's like, and even if I take the offer now with the tree in there, I don't know if I can afford to go anywhere. Like, whew.
Yeah.
I mean, heavy duty.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, look, you know, there's a reason you got this ticket tonight. And if I can help you a little bit, then I hope it makes your life a little better.
Yeah.
You know, so beautiful. Well, and then, of course, because I'm a fucking asshole and I only know how to deal with things joking. You know, we all
What inappropriate joke did you make?
Well, Rick has to go. No worries, Rick. We're about to wrap it up. You know, of course, we're in the green room and Dugat and all of them are like, why is everybody crying? What happened? And I go, man, we ended up giving up our money to this woman, poor girl. I go, but that bitch is going to be at a slot machine. like joking around. But anyway, we love you guys so much. And thanks for loving me and Renae and
letting us kill your brain cells and coming back every week for more.
We love you guys so much, and we love what we do, and we couldn't do it without you. So, SteveTreviño.com for all upcoming tour dates. We love you. Bye-bye.